Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Incredible Hulk issue number 29. One more issue to go before we switch it up and we get something else. I'm loving it. I love the idea of where this is going. This comic book didn't have a whole lot happening in it, but what did happen is really just a resume. And yeah, you're hired. Let's get talking about that good stuff after we give credit where credit's due. I mean, that's kind of what a resume is all about, right? So this issue is called The Requiem Plane, Part 2. Philip Kennedy Johnson is the writer. Adam Gorham is the artist. Matthew Wilson on color art and VC's Corey Petit doing letters. Nick Klein does the cover art. Love how Nick Klein used to be like the main artist for Hulk for a while, and now he's like just on the covers. I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. Pretty soon, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing Adam Gorham doing all the covers, right? As we give somebody else very worthy doing the work. Whole lot of variant covers out there, including a bicentennial calendar hidden gem. So enjoy that. And that's a version of the Herb Trimpe, one of the Herb Trimpe covers. Okay, and Hulk was created by Stanley Jack Kirby. So all of this is Betty, no spoilers, Betty walking Hulk through the Mother of Monsters' land and an explanation of what exactly happened. All these creatures she created, but was it really creation? Right? So very interesting take here. Guys, I have talked, not extensively, but every so often when somebody makes a cool story about the history of the Marvel Universe, I point out several things, right? Roy Thomas was instrumental in bringing in the Conan saga into the Marvel Universe. The history of the Marvel Universe is actually just a part of Robert E. Howard and therefore H.P. Lovecraft's world. And it's always been like that with the Doctor Strange comics, with the Conan eventually also, absolutely, and with Thor. Those were the three main comics that explained the history of the Marvel Universe. There was the original universe, the original Earth, then there was a cataclysm where Lemuria sank into the sea, and then another cataclysm? No. Actually, I forget when Lemuria sank in the sea, but Atlantis sank in the sea, and then that was the cataclysm, and then the Age of Conan came about, and then there was another cataclysm, and now we have the Earth that we have today. But long before all of that, there were the gods, the old gods on this universe, and we're not gonna, no need to get into Genesis or Sisneg, right, as his name was, but more specifically, there were these old gods on the earth, and all of them were evil except for Gaia. And Gaia saw life in the sea starting, and she wanted to save it. She wanted to rescue it, keep it safe. So she prayed to one of her sons, Atum. You can read this in the Thor comic books. And Atum, who wasn't interested in this earth and really expressed here, the god behind the sun, the god who was worshipped by the ancient Egyptians, eventually. He came and he became this monster called the Demogorge, and he gorged on all of the gods except for his mother and the few who escaped, including Set and Chthon. Right? Those are the two main ones who escaped. But the idea is that, then as he left, he shed off some of the remains of these greater old gods, and lesser demons were created on this earth, including Mephisto being one of them, right? Satanish and all of them. Interesting that Philip Kennedy Johnson comes along and he makes an addendum to this. And I am so on board. They show Set right next to Gaia, and they're just hanging out. But it's a one-headed Set, not the multi-headed Set. And then Gaia is looking into the sea, but I guess before she saw life, she saw something else. She saw the mother of all monsters, and she began changing, because one of the key aspects that we should always understand about true evil is that evil cannot create. Oh, they can twist, they can warp, they can corrupt, but that's not really creation. When you make something that already was into something else, it's just something else. It's not a new creation. Although they will call it that. But yeah, evil can't actually create. Philip Kennedy Johnson so far seems to stick with that idea, right? This is a universal trope argued, right? And he sticks with it. And I absolutely love that. When Set is corrupted, and I imagine a whole bunch of others also, that's when all of a sudden these things happen. But the idea that these things were, I don't know if they were benevolent or good or just uncaring, but they weren't evil. And then it shows that they became evil, right? Interesting. Very interesting. Not interesting the way that Al Ewing will make Gaia actually evil. Like, not interested in that at all. But this is, I love it when somebody gives you their resume, right? And they could do it in many different ways, many different resumes. Hey, I'm trying to go for a job. Like, sometimes with me, I'll go for a job in engineering. I'm not going to put a whole bunch of my teaching experience on there. Sometimes I'm going to go for a job with teaching. I'm probably not going to put my military experience on there, right? So the different kind of jobs or contracts that I'm going to try and, try and get, I can't acquire them if I put the wrong resume out there. So here's one of PKJ's particular resumes. And yeah, you're hired. You are 100%. I love the idea that, like, I thought we were going to get Abomination. This that we're about to get, I can simply say, is not the Abomination. If you want to know exactly what it is, read the comic book. In order to do that, buy the comic book. And I'm looking forward to see what's about to happen next. What's going to lead into this new world, Act 2, if you will, of the Hulk. I like that this is happening. This reminds me a lot of when Iron Man suddenly became the Silver Centurion, and then Hulk became gray, and then a whole bunch of different things started out. Like Captain America was no longer Captain America; he was now the Captain, and eventually Nomad, all that good stuff, right? Interesting. And there was a different, Steve Walker became Captain America, right? And then more things happened. Thing turned into a pineapple, very spiky pineapple. Like a whole bunch of changes started happening, and it was something different, something jarring for the Marvel Universe. And I can't say I disliked it. Oh, everything very quickly went back to the status quo, right? But things did change, and for a while, it was so tasty. And I feel like that's what's happening now. We've got a new version of Thor out there, sort of, kind of, right? We kind of sort of have a new version of Hulk about to come up. I wonder, can we pull it off with a couple other things? Because they tried it in a very goofy way back in the day, just, the Wolverines and the Miss Marvels and all that stuff, right? And they realized that simply isn't working for pretty much anybody. This, so far, it's working very well. I'm looking forward to see more. Talk to you guys later. Like the video and watch an ad. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.